Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and now game 1 in a series between TSL's Revival versus TSL's Hyun here on Cloud Kingdom. Game 1 in this series, I don't know what's best of as I haven't seen the replays or all of the replays, I only know the number of games. Now, Revival is spawning as the blue Zerg over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. And it is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg mirror match here on the top right-hand side of the map as Hyun is spawning as the red Zerg. Now, a couple of comments that I've read on my channel as of late, and I understand that my strength really isn't in being charismatic in the game, and that's actually a little bit by design, maybe perhaps a little bit to my own detriment. Oh, what is this? Hyun is actually going in for a fast spawning pool, so this is an 8 pool here. Alright, so things already opening up very, very interestingly, and if we see Revival perhaps go for a 14 hatch or a pool before a hatch, or a pool after a hatch, that is going to be bad news for him. We'll go ahead and keep track of that. We are going to see the extractor trick being utilized there in just a moment. Nope, it looks like he is actually building an extractor, surprisingly. So it looks like it will be an extractor pool coming in from Revival. So metabolic boosted lings versus early lings here on Cloud Kingdom. Now, something I wanted to say something I wanted to mention is I know that my strength isn't really in being very charismatic in the game. And that is a little bit by design, perhaps to my own detriment, as I really thought as the esports community grew, there would be more and more of a focus in terms of the players. To give a little bit of a correlation or a little bit of an example, I thought people would be more interested in the players who are playing these games rather than the announcers behind the voice. It would be like John Madden or some other commentator of football being more popular than Aaron Rodgers, and that isn't what I believe esports need. Esports definitely needs the players to be highlighted more, and I try to tone down myself a little bit exactly for that reason. Now, if I was a little bit more charismatic and put in a little bit more effort, perhaps I would be more popular, but then again, I am happy that I do have the fans that I have. Now, we are going to see Hyun now come in with very, very fast, or Zerglings already coming in here, and this is not good for Hyun. Hyun was perhaps hoping that his Zerglings would have a significant advantage here, and are we going to see an actual unit war? Let's see, it is going to be, what, 10 Zerglings versus 4, and this is going to be very, very bad news as the Queen will now be coming out. The Queen will now be shooting those darts over, and there are a lot of Zerglings inside this base. The Zerglings, however, are going to have to back off. It is 8 Zerglings or 10 Zerglings now, 9 Zerglings on the inside, perhaps getting a surround on that Queen. If that Queen does go down, that is going to be bad news, but Hyun is going to be very, very much in trouble as he is going to be retreating with those Zerglings now. Now, surprisingly, Revival does not have, and I repeat, does not have another hatchery behind this. So Revival at the 4-minute 30-second mark has yet to build a hatchery, just going to set one up. Meanwhile, we see that Hyun is already setting up his hatchery, and he now needs to get a Queen over here as quickly as possible. There is already one Queen now trying to shoot and dart away that one particular Overlord, as this is a very, very fast game. A lot of action happening here in the 4-minute mark. Zergling's now going to be running off over here. This is going to be bad news for Hyun. Hyun needs a way to be able to absorb a bit of damage, as the Zerglings are now, the metabolic boosted Zerglings now coming in. This is going to be very bad news. The Zerglings and Queens are now battling it out. Is the Zerglings going to be able to finish off the Queen? Yes, it is, and there are still more Zerglings showing up as the superior numbers of Revival are really taking its toll. A new Queen is already out. The drone's now taking a little bit of damage, but we are going to see a new Queen come into play. I do not see any more Zerglings coming in from Revival. The Queen over here at the hatchery is not yet out, and the Zerglings know that it cannot engage, as there is most likely a Queen already coming out there, and those Zerglings will live and fight another day. Let's take a look at the harvester count. It is 20 to 20. Surprisingly, we do have very similar unit tabs at this point, even though both players opened up very, very differently. Now, Hyun is a bit behind. He did lose an overlord, a scouting overlord, but how much information was he able to glean? He knows about that hatchery, but that is pretty much it. So Hyun losing an overlord pretty needlessly there. We are going to be seeing more Zerglings now making their way over, perhaps trying to take down destructible rocks, and we are going into a spine crawler. Zerglings double queens, and the drone is going to try to, no, not going to be able to mineral path its way through. Double queens on the ramp. There is no transfusions coming in, not enough energy, but a third queen up on top will definitely help out there, as we are now seeing a very, very different gameplay and style. Revival getting off a large number of drones all of a sudden off of a key inject, while Hyun was forced to hold position. We can see also a creep tumor now trying to be placed down. That is going to get cleaned up, as the Zerglings still do not have metabolic boost. Hyun, the longer the game goes for Hyun, the worse he's going to be if he does not have metabolic boost. Army compositions, Hyun is a bit ahead. Let's take a look at this. 12 Zerglings compared to 6. But it is also 33 drones compared to 24, and Revival definitely taking the advantage there, as he is establishing up his third hatchery at the 8-minute mark. Alright, so a lot of early action back and forth here, and Hyun is going to be a little bit more worse for wear in those engagements so far. Double hatchery or double extractor now finally placed down, and Hyun needs to catch up in terms of that metabolic boost. Meanwhile, we are seeing gas once again being harvested by Revival, as he is now transitioning into roaches. 11 roaches going to be added, and if those roaches are able to get across the field, this is going to be very, very difficult for them to stop, as there's only one spine crawler here and double queens. The queens do have, one of them has enough energy for a transfusion, as long as it doesn't lay down more creep tumors. Oh, this is going to be bad. Hyun now laying down even more creep tumors, going to get those roaches even more quickly inside his base, giving a movement speed advantage, and more importantly, may not have enough energy for the transfusions when push comes to shove. Zerglings now running around here. In comes a dozen roaches now by Revival. 12 roaches with a whole flood of Zerglings coming in right behind. Revival is going for the jugular here. He is now slowing down his macro. Hyun has caught up in terms of drone count, but here we go. Roaches now ready to engage, and the roaches are just going to snipe down this spine crawler very quickly. No, double transfusions quickly come in. The roaches need to perhaps back away. No, gonna go straight after that, and now go after all of these queens here. The roaches now just simply charging up the ramp. That range of 4 just enough, as transfusions still coming into play. Zerglings and roaches, both sides battling it out. Revival in a strange position here. Can he get any more kills? Yes, he does. Both queens do go down, and now with the roaches in position, there is the GG by Hyun, as Hyun loses game 1 in this series very, very quickly. Both sides engaging and attacking very fast. Revival didn't even really need anything at this hatchery at all, just used it as more of a macro station than anything else, and was able to get a lot of reinforcements and a lot of attacking units. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1.